Wet weather and a rotten tree create a tense situation in Canby when two people have to be cut out of this car trapped by a 100-foot fir tree. Welcome to KOIN Local 6 at 6. I'm Casey Montoya. We have live team coverage of the recent rains and damage they've helped cause today. Brian Miskimmins is in the Pinpoint Weather Center with a look at where the rains are headed. But we begin with KOIN Local 6 reporter Ken Boddie live in Canby, where conditions there led to a rescue today. Ken?
Well, Casey, this is still an active scene here. You're looking at what remains of a 100-foot fir tree that came down this afternoon. It hit these two vehicles right here, and there was a couple that was trapped inside that one. Take a look at this Hyundai Sonata, and it's amazing that Timona Madelborg and her husband Chris were not hurt more seriously. A 100-foot fir tree came down on their car shortly after they parked in this Canby cul-de-sac.
I heard the wife. She was screaming, and I didn't know what was going on.
Bernie Van Houten's daughter was in the car. It was his tree, and the couple was living at his house. He came out and saw his daughter and son-in-law trapped.
I grabbed the chainsaw out of there, but it was like, I better wait for the fire department on this. And then the roof was still crushing while they were in there, so I was like, come on, guys. And they had a really good response, but you're sitting here thinking, when's it going to be?
Well, their injuries were pretty minor, but when we arrived, they were still trapped inside, and we were uncertain of their injuries. So with their assistance and with our firefighters, we carefully extricated them. And then they were actually both transported to Oregon Health Science University.
Van Houten, who works for PGE, said he didn't have concerns about this tree before, but he used his company equipment to help clear the other dangerous branches, and he's relieved his daughter and son-in-law survived this.
I'm just thankful they're out of there.
Well, here in Canby, you can see that they have workers right now that are cutting up that tree, a long tree, 100-foot fir tree. Really a tough situation. Really, it's a good thing that that couple is doing pretty well now. We have a condition report on them. The man who was in the car, he was the driver. He has a fractured shoulder. The woman who was in the car, Van Houten's daughter, she is relatively uninjured. Now, Canby Fire says it's because of the diseased root system of the tree that kind of brought it down the way it did, coupled with all the rain that we've had recently. Again, the young couple, they're doing okay, very lucky tonight. In fact, they just moved here back to Oregon from Michigan and were just coming back from house hunting when this happened. Reporting for you live in Canby, Ken Boddie, KOIN Local 6.
Pretty amazing stuff. Thank you, Ken. And for more on the wet weather, let's toss it over to Brian Miskimmins standing by in the Pinpoint Weather Center. Brian.
Hey, Casey. Yeah, it's been a wet and breezy day out there, as Ken mentioned. In fact, peak gusts so far today, 35 miles per hour out there in Aurora, out towards Canby. So definitely the rotted tree didn't help matters, but the saturated ground and the very breezy conditions, everybody in the 25 to 35 mile per hour peak gust range. Live 3D pinpoint Doppler. It's been raining off and on all afternoon. Of course, we started with a gorgeous start to the day, but zooming out, also out towards the Cascades, quite a bit of snow flying up there. In fact, look at this picture sent in to us from Mount Hood Meadows today. Tamara sent that in to us from Mount Hood Meadows. Lots of fresh snow up there, over a foot in many cases. And out to Bob Lanfear's Beaverton Honda, you can see a beautiful time lapse of the way the day started. But of course, we know that's not the way it's ending out there. And temperatures right now across the area, upper 40s to right about 50 degrees. So if you have plans tonight, heading outside, temperature's going to stay generally in the upper 40s, mid to upper 40s all night long. Showers and breezy conditions do continue throughout the night, off and on.